fan. Without further ado, let's welcome from the cast of Gotham, first of all, David Mazouz. Yes, he's been tap dancing back there. Please welcome Robin Lord Taylor. Showing off the moves, yes. Give it up one more time for your cast of Gotham here at Comic-Con Wales.
Hey, yeah!
What's up?
What's up, Wales? Yes!
Yay. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Seriously.
They have been the nicest people, I'll tell you what.
Coming to the last panel, too. Amazing.
Yeah, no press, no press.
Right, totally.
Yes, well, I'm so glad to have you guys here. If you guys are just joining us for the first time, we have microphones over here on the left and a microphone there on my right. So please get your questions ready. Don't be shy. Ask a question to these lovely gentlemen here. But it is cool that it's the last panel because you guys have experienced 2 full days of Comic-Con Wales. This is our first one in Wales. So how has the experience been for you guys?
It's been incredible. This is my first time in Newport. I think my 3rd time in Wales, but one of my first times actually getting able to explore the area a little bit. Went out in Newport last night, and I just gotta say, like, meeting everybody has been amazing because you all are so nice and genuine and fun to talk to and have great stories. And I've just been really, really enjoying my time here. So thank you all for giving me a great experience.
Yes, same. Yeah. I think I said to a couple of people, if you were coming through my line or whatever, this is my 2nd time in Wales. Previously, though, I was in Wrexham, which is north. And, you know, fantastic place, loved going there. But, you know, this feels like Wales. You know, like we're in, like, the thick of it. You know, the signs have lots of letters on them, you know? And it's really been amazing. And there's also just like a genuine sort of laid backness and just like kind of a pleasantness about everybody here, which has been so awesome to see. And, you know, coming from the Midwest in America, it reminds me a little bit of where I'm from. So I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, everybody. That's been awesome.
No, kudos to you guys. All of the celebrities have said how kind and polite everyone's been. But we have to talk about cosplay. We just had our cosplayers. How amazing were they, you guys? And the amount of effort and passion that goes into the cosplay. But the Gotham/Batman cosplay.
Amazing.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of that today, am I right?
I'm seeing it right now. Look at that guy.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And yeah, there were some people that were dressed as Jeremiah and Bruce from a specific scene, and I feel ashamed. I don't know if they're in the audience right now, but I feel ashamed that I didn't recognize it. And they showed me the picture, and I was like, oh, of course, you guys look amazing. There, right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are great. Thanks.
Yeah, it's been amazing for me too. Like the creativity is so incredible. You know, when we make the show, we're just shooting the show because it's what we do. It's our job. You don't really think about the creativity that it inspires in the people who watch the show. And so when you see the cosplay, it's such an amazing homage to the show and to us, and also just to the Batman universe in general. So thank you so, so much. And also, for me and the character that I play, maybe one of the most gratifying, inspiring things that I've seen is that the cosplay for Penguin has been here and also in other places that I've been to, across the board, a non-binary experience, which I think is just so amazing. And like, you know, like these characters transcend, you know, the what they were originally conceived as. And I think that's so exciting because, as I've said before in the past at different Comic-Cons, you know, Batman is, what, 60 years old at this point? Or, you know... More. So,
He looks good for his age, though.
Yeah, he looks fantastic. But, you know, the reason it stays relevant is because people reinvent these characters and because they feel that freedom to bring them into the present moment. And that's just a little piece of the whole thing. And I think it's so, so wonderful to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it spans generations, which is so cool.
Exactly,
because people
that
that
too.
might not have grown up with, you know, Adam West, Batman, and things like that are now getting into Gotham thanks to you guys. But there have been so many iterations of Batman. Are there favorite films? I know I've interviewed Robin before, and we had similar tastes in our favorite Batman films. So please tell everyone in Wales your favorite Batman films or different versions of the cast.
You go. You go.
Okay, I'll go first.
I've always-
I mean, as we discussed in Liverpool, we said, I mean, I grew up with the Tim Burton Batman films, and like the first Batman, or Batman '88, was the first superhero film that I had seen in the movie theater, and I'm again from a small town in the Midwest, and it was the first time I went to the movie theater and there was a line, like that this was like a huge thing and it left such an imprint on me. But in terms of my favorite movie, singular, it is obviously Batman Returns. Tip my hat to the amazing Danny DeVito, and of course, the amazing Michael Keaton, and of course, the unstoppable Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, just such a brilliant performance. So, yeah, that's my choice. What about you?
Yeah, well, similarly, I grew up on the Christian Bale Batmans, and I think they're hard to beat. I don't know if it's because I saw them when I was 8, and like that was also like my first impression of Batman. Like, I remember, I think the first time I saw those movies, I was around 8. It was my best friend's birthday. He was having a sleepover party, and they put on Batman Rises, I think, and I just remember being glued to the TV, and like no one else was really watching, everyone else was like eating pizza in the other room, and I just remember being like, oh my God, like the Joker is terrifying, and yeah, I loved it, and Batman was like always my favorite superhero growing up because of those movies, and I remember like I was always really into like making, like I had like a flip camera with my friends when I was around that age, and I would just make like mini movies like around my house and like on the lawn and stuff, and we'd always not necessarily pretend to be Batman, but like Batman, like I thought the gadgets were so cool that I would love like pretending to have like a bunch of like cool things and like be like a spy like that. And so yeah, so Batman was always my favorite because of that, and I also loved the Robert Pattinson movie. I thought he did a great job. Didn't love his Bruce Wayne, but I thought his Batman was phenomenal.
I thought
But we can get into that. If anyone wants to discuss that with me, I'm happy to nerd out.
Yeah. I thought when you said Robert Pattinson as Batman, we'd either get tons of cheers or tons of boos, but you stay.
Yeah,
it's because they're polite.
Yeah,
they
they're
just stayed
super
so
neutral.
even
They're
keel.
nice Welsh people,
Yeah. It's so funny though that everyone's version of Batman is like when they were growing up. So your version of Batman is Christian Bale, or your version it might be Michael Keaton. I loved Val Kilmer. That gets me a lot of heat, but
There
I
you
loved
go.
Val Kilmer as Batman.
I love Val Kilmer too.
I think
Yeah.
I think Val Kilmer is severely underrated as
Agreed.
Batman. I think that I don't know. I loved it.
I agree. Well, I would love to get your thoughts on, it's still in the Batman genre, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker.
Amazing.
Thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, just so great. And like, again, like I said before, reinterpreting these characters, bringing them into new worlds, new situations, new looks, new everything is just so cool. And to also like the I don't want to say the word I want to say, but the chutzpah, if you know what that word is, of that it took for Joaquin Phoenix to take that character after such a genre-breaking performance by Heath Ledger. I mean, I feel like Heath Ledger set the bar for all of us, and we're all just trying to, even attempt to get to that level. And so, it just the fact that he could do that and then win the Oscar is just really incredible and inspiring as well.
Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar?
What's that?
Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar?
Yeah, he did. He won Best Actor for
Did he?
for the Joker. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Good job. Congratulations, Joaquin.
Yeah.
You know he's watching right now.
Oh, I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Sending
well,
love
you just
to
mentioned, Joaquin following in the footsteps of Heath Ledger. That's a lot of pressure, I'm sure. Was there pressure for? I'm going to go with you first, just because because you're Batman.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Was there pressure for you to kind of fill those shoes with all the amazing actors we just mentioned, and then we'll get Robin his opinion.
Yeah, so no, not at all. And I think the reason was that I was 12. And I just had no conception of the fact that I was stepping into such an iconic role. Like, I just thought it was cool that I was, like, working on another TV show. And I was excited to, dig into the role and, work with the creators of the show to, figure out who this person was. And I really didn't even, I did my research. I read a bunch of comic books and, I used that as inspiration. But I kind of saw it as, I can take what I want and leave what I want. I didn't really think about the fact that there were, at that point, 73 years worth of fans for this character, and that maybe I had some justice to do to them. I just didn't. I think I did it. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know. But
They're here.
but I think I did that not because I was trying to. I think if I was trying to serve this kind of like general audience who enjoys Batman, I would get so kind of caught up in myself and the pressure and start overthinking everything. And instead, I kind of just gave my own interpretation. And by the time I got old enough, because trust me, it did hit me at a certain point when I was like 15, 16 in the middle of the show, and I was like, holy crap, holy crap, I am basically Batman, and that is insane. I wonder if I'm doing a good job. By that point, I'd already been doing it for 3 years, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. So yeah, I didn't feel any pressure, and I wonder if I got the job now, how I would feel, because I think I would feel pressure, and I think it would mess me up, to be honest.
Youth worked in your favor for that, for sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Alternatively, I was a little bit older than David, and it scared the crap out of me when I got the role. It was very daunting at first, and but I've told this story before, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. But when we auditioned, we didn't know what we were auditioning for. We were given a fake scene with fake characters. They didn't even tell us the title of the pilot, or this was my experience anyway. And so they gave me a scene, and I went in, and I was like, made my choices, and I was like, okay, this is how I approach this character, whoever he may be. And I subsequently learned that it was the Penguin, no pressure at all. And, it was very scary at first, but then, I talked to one of the creators and executive producers of the show, Bruno Heller. He and I had dinner, and he said to me, he was like, look, it was always you. It was always going to be you. So just do what you do. Like don't change anything. Don't listen to anything. You have this. We wanted only you. And it was like hearing that vote of confidence from the man who created the show really helped me. And it was also helped me to sort of like shut down that imposter syndrome that I think we all kind of have, and just sort of, accept the training that I had as an actor and the previous experiences that I had as an actor and everything that I had gone through, professionally and personally up until that point. Trust that all of that was there, and I could rely on that, and there the character would live. And so, it took a little bit to accept that, but it worked out in the end.
What was your general performance when you did the audition, like not knowing that it was the Penguin, like roughly kind of what you did in the show as the Penguin?
It really kind of was. And, I think that's also the brilliance of Bruno Heller and Danny Cannon. I'm not totally sure who wrote that exact scene, but, when you watch the show, the Penguin has a very specific way of speaking and a very specific choice of language, and that stuff was all in that fake scene, And so, again, it just came so naturally, and it was, again, it felt like, yeah, I was born to do this, And then, of course, so little sidebar. So Danny DeVito is amazing, and obviously the star of my favorite Batman movie, and was the previous Penguin. Not the incredible voice actors, notwithstanding, but he is best friends with Carol Kane, who played my mom. They were on Taxi together. She came to me while we were shooting, and she was like, I talked to Danny about you. And I was like, what? And she was like, he is so proud of you and so happy with everything you're doing. And it was like that vote of confidence. That was all I needed to just say F you to any haters out there. I was like, Danny likes it, the rest of y'all can go, whatever, So,
that's the ultimate seal of approval.
It really was, yeah.
Yes, validating, I'm sure. We're going to have you guys come up and ask questions at the mic in just 1 second. Final question for me, and then I'll let it get to you guys. So we have a lot of amazing celebrities here, from Teen Wolf, Lucifer, Superman, and Lois. It's all the fans have been saying, and I agree, it's so wild to see you guys hanging out and crossover and all that. What's it been like to meet other actors over the weekend?
It's been really fun. I have heard about a lot of these people. Some of them like Leslie Ann, who's on Lucifer, was on Gotham, and I remember. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't know if you remember, but in season 1, when Bruce kisses Selena for the first time in episode 10, I believe, that was my very first kiss ever. And I remember the day before, so that episode, Leslie Ann, and spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen season 1, episode 10, but what are you doing here if you haven't seen season 1, episode 10? So Leslie Ann's character kidnaps me, and we were shooting together the day before the kiss scene, and she was asking me, she's like, so you ready for tomorrow? And I was like, no. And she was like, have you ever had an on-screen kiss before? I was like, no. She's like, have you ever had a kiss before? And I was like, no. And she gave me advice, and she was like talking me through it. She really helped me like get through. I was so nervous, and I just feel like I owe her so much because of that. And I didn't know she was gonna be here, and I saw her table is like right next to ours, and I went up to her and I was like, thank you so much, by the way, for that, because you really relieved me. Why did that get a laugh? What did I say? Anyway, so just like people that I know from around like that, and then other like people that are friends with some of my friends that I was excited to meet, and other people that I'm just fans of, and so it's been really nice. Like also like Chandler Riggs, I'm sure you guys know who he is, incredible. My favorite character on The Walking Dead. Honestly, had a hard time watching Walking Dead after he died. Sorry for if that was a spoiler for anyone. That was an actual spoiler. But I always see him at conventions like every year too, like all around the world. Like the last time we saw each other was like 2 years ago in Colombia. And whenever I see him, he's just so nice, and like I've gotten to know his family a little bit throughout the years. And yeah, so it's just like these conventions are really, really. And then also, most of all, Robin. We live on opposite coasts in America, and we don't really get to see each other outside of these conventions, and so it's such a pleasure. Like I saw this man every single day roughly for about 5 years of my life. Like feels like a family member to me, and like I feel so estranged, and it's so nice to see him again and jump on his back for a photo op.
We took a fun photo op. You'll see it on Instagram later. And it's funny too, because it's like I just want, again, I know that I want to thank you all so much. It's because of the fandom that I have this opportunity to see my family and to reconnect with them, and it really is all because of you guys, and it just means so much to me and to all of those actors too. Like Lucifer started when we started, and they were also a Warner Brothers show, so we would do like junkets together, and we would see each other, and over the years, and so it just feels like a really great reunion anytime we get to do this. So yeah.
Added bonus of it brings people together, Comic Cons. Actually, I met a lot of you before this panel started that they met at other Comic Cons, and now they meet up together, and creating friendships.
Amazing.
That's what we do here at Monopoly events.
And that's what we do as part of this Comic Con universe, in that it is an inclusive space. Yeah. Everywhere across the world, it is. For a weekend, you can come and you can be whomever you want to be, and know that you will be embraced and accepted by everyone there. And I think that is such a beautiful thing. So again, thank you for that as well.
Yes, definitely. Well said. It's a safe space for sure.
Exactly.
We have a question right here on the microphone here on my left. Hiya.
Hi. This isn't Gotham related, but what was it like to work on Accepted? And also, what was your favorite scene in Gotham?
Oh, goodness. Well, okay, so I was in a movie called Accepted that came out in 2006, and it was my first big film, and I had never been in a big studio picture before, and it was it's a comedy about kids applying to college, and those who don't get accepted create their own college, and it's a really kind of it's zany, and it's like it's a silly. Silly sounds dismissive, but it's a comedy. But at the same time, it's about like people finding themselves and creating their own safe space. And for people who don't feel like they're accepted in the general place that they should be going, they created their own space, and then they all go there. And it was just an amazing thing. And also all these years later, I'm like, oh wow, I worked with Justin Long, Jonah Hill, Blake Lively, Louis Black, like all of these amazing actors, and to see them, all of us since then grow up and go on to such amazing things has been so great to see. So that was so fun. In terms of my favorite scene, is that what you said?
Yeah.
For me personally, it was the last, I don't know, I think it was my last scene in season 1 when I threw Fish Mooney off the roof. Sorry. Spoiler alert. I threw Fish Mooney off the roof, and then I scream, "I'm the king of Gotham, I'm the king of Gotham." We were shooting in Brooklyn, and we were on a roof. She didn't actually go off the roof. There was a little mat there, so don't get scared. But I was standing there, and I'm screaming, "I'm the king of Gotham, I'm the king of Gotham." And at that point, I'd been trying to make it as an actor for, with relative moderate success, losing my health insurance here and there. It was difficult. 14 years, I'm standing on this building in Brooklyn screaming, "I'm the king of Gotham, I'm the king of Gotham." I'm playing the Penguin. I'm staring at the Empire State Building, and I felt like I was the king of New York City. I was like, I made it. I was like, this is it. And I will never forget that moment for the rest of my life. So that's my favorite scene. David?
I can't really follow that,
Yes, you can.
but I'll try. I think honestly it's tough to pick a favorite scene, but the first one that comes to mind is the scene. Just because somebody was talking to me about it earlier, and it is definitely one of my favorite scenes. Is from season 3, the circus episode, and when I got to beat up Jerome and literally beat his face off of his face. That was probably one of my favorite scenes because it just felt, for a lot of reasons, it felt like a very climactic moment for Bruce. It felt like something that I'd been building towards for such a long time. It was 2.5 seasons into the show, and I felt like before that, Bruce had kind of been involved in some action before, and we all knew he was going to become Batman, right? So we all knew he'd become a badass at some point, but it wasn't really happening for a while. And this was the first time that Bruce was active, the first time that Bruce actually went after a bad guy. He'd fought bad guys before, but it was because they were kidnapping him, and this was like, okay, this guy, at this point, Bruce thought that he'd killed Alfred, and he was like, I'm not gonna, let that slide. And then also at the same, so it was for a big character moment, and at the same time, it was a proto Batman versus the Joker fight, and super emotional. I felt like there was so much to work with and to explore as an actor, as well as this really awesome fight choreo that was put together by our Emmy Award nominated stunt team. And it was just I had so much fun that entire episode, but especially
I wanted to say too, I was actually there that day because we had to shoot this little insert. I don't know if you remember. I believe it was the same episode where I went into the river again at the hands of the Riddler, and there's this shot of me sinking down into the water, and that day was so intense because of the makeup for Jerome, for Cameron's character, so they put this in there in between while he was getting ready and whatnot. So I was actually there that day where they were shooting this, and I walked in and they had just done a huge fight sequence, and then they were going to then they had to take a little break, and I remember walking up and seeing David, and there was something about the energy of that scene and what you just described, how it was for you, where I was like, he's growing up. I was like, he's growing up, it was just, it struck me because there was something about your energy and just you were owning it in a way that I mean, you owned it the whole time, but it was like an elevation. It was like a next step for you, and I think I was just so happy that I could be there that day. So yeah.
I was talking to somebody earlier. I forget who. I'm sorry, but if you're in the crowd, let me know. Somebody was asking me about what it was like to grow up on the show, and I feel like this was something this is something I got asked a lot of time when we were doing the show, but I think it's something I can really only answer properly in hindsight, and maybe not even now. But that I feel fairly grown up. Looking back, I think I felt myself changing as a person because I was also growing up, and I could infuse that with the things that Bruce was doing. And like I said, I noticed these different landmarks in the writing for how Bruce was evolving. And this felt like a big one. Another one was in season 2, episode 10. I don't know if you guys remember the scene where Bruce and Selena work together to trick Silver St. Cloud and make her think that they hire a fake kidnapper. I felt like that was a bit, and I just think that my acting style, the way I played Bruce, was all very informed by like things I was going through in my life, and like just how I was maturing as a person too. Sorry, it's still not very articulate. I'm still kind of figuring it out. But yeah, I think what you notice, like, of me growing up, and it's because I think I saw that moment as an opportunity to grow, both as a person and as my character, which felt so synonymous at the time, which was a really cool experience. It was a really cool experience.
Thank you so much.
Great question. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. We've got a question here on the right.
What is your favorite season? What has your favorite season been to shoot, and why?
Yeah, I think my favorite season is season 4. And I think that's for a variety of reasons. I feel like I really, like Bruce, again, and this goes back to right what I was just talking about, Bruce really stepped into his own in season 4. And I feel like I was also stepping into my own in season 4 as well. I was turning 17, and that was the season when Bruce, like, started to be a vigilante, had like the proto-vigilante, like, balaclava, and was like doing a lot of fight scenes. And I had this auction scene that is like surprisingly viral on TikTok in the last year. Like, I have so many like random people on the street who have like never seen the show. They'll just be like, "Are you like $2 million guy?" Like, yeah, otherwise known as Bruce Wayne, but yes.
I'm old. Will you send that to me? I don't do the
sure.
TikToks, but
Sure.
yes, I need to see this again. Yeah,
it's so
because I think I was there too, right? Was I?
You were in that scene. Yeah.
Right.
What was I talking about? Yeah. Anyway, so Bruce was just really stepping into his own because, and that auction scene felt so fun because I felt like I could just really be myself, just be a brat and just kind of have fun with it. Yeah. So season 4 for me. I just felt like Bruce was like finally like figuring out his Batman-ness, especially towards the first half of the season.
I don't know. I don't remember seasons because, again, I'm old. But I would say the season where Oswald runs for mayor and then his relationship with the Riddler takes a little different turn for him. That was, for me, my favorite scene for many, many reasons. One of the biggest being that one of my best friends, Corey Michael Smith, and I could have so much amazing stuff together. And just, I have chemistry with everyone on this show, but there was something between Corey and me that was just kind of like, it was electric, and the fact that we got all of that story to really explore that was my favorite thing. Yeah.
And that chemistry was begging to be explored. I remember you guys had one scene. It was like kind of like an Easter egg scene in season 1.
Season 1, yeah.
Yeah, and like when you visited the police station.
Yep.
And I remember watching that scene and being like, oh, they've got to do something with that. Like I remember when it was on air, and I remember like everyone was talking about it when we were on set too. Like,
yeah.
And I'm so glad that they did like choose to explore that.
Yeah,
over the course of the
awesome.
season.
Shout out to Corey for sure.
Shout out Corey.
Thank you. Great question.
Thank you so much.
We have a question here on the left.
Hi. The casting of Gotham is second to none. The only comparison I've got is It, the kids, to It, the adults.
Yeah, totally.
Both yourselves, Sean Pertwee as Alfred, Corey Michael Smith is probably the best cast in the show. But if you could play any other character, who would you choose?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Don Falcone.
Yeah, Don Falcone. That's a good one. Yeah. We get this question sometimes, and I hate to be kind of a buzzkill, but like, as you said, the casting was so good. And like, as I described before, so many of us auditioned not knowing what it was. Like, it was just a very almost pure experience that we were put into these roles. I can't imagine coming near what anyone else did on the show, and again, I just felt like all of us were meant to play these characters in this story. So
Definitely.
Sorry, that's my answer, my non-answer, really. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We've got a question over here on the right.
To be clear, I just want to be Don Falcone in real life. I wouldn't want to play.
That's a real life aspiration for sure. Yeah.
Hi, my daughter was going to ask, but she's gone a bit shy.
Oh, it's okay. Love you.
But do you have a favorite backstage moment, and what is it?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I forget what scene it was, but there's a ballroom scene where all of us were there. Like, yes, you and Selena, you and Cameron were there as well. We are all wearing like couture, like the most amazing outfits. And it was rare that they would it happened, but it didn't happen every day, obviously, where all of us would be in a scene together. Like, and it was a really beautiful, like, moving shot where it would go from conversation to conversation to person to show that everyone was in this room together. And it was a long night. And then, you know, they would call cut, and then it would be time to move the cameras, and so we would have like a half an hour or more maybe of just downtime, and we all just like ran up to our dressing rooms and just like hung out. But there were these like rickety stairs in the studio. So just imagine like 8 or 9 actors in like couture like gowns and suits, heels, shoes, the whole thing, like clomping up the stairs and then like getting up there and like putting on Rihanna and like, you know, like having fun. So yeah, that's my favorite moment.
I think one of my favorite moments, and there, you know, 5 years worth of moments, so it's definitely hard to pick, but I was shooting a scene with Cameron Monaghan, who was playing, I think it was Jerome at the time. I can't remember exactly. Actually, might have been Jeremiah. I don't remember, but it was, one of them. And we were getting ready to rehearse, and I was like, it was in the Wayne Manor study, and I wasn't sure where he was, and like, and then I go into, and it's like right before we start rehearsing, and he was pretty method when he was on set. He wouldn't really, schmooze. He was like very kind of dedicated to. I don't know. He just kind of like had headphones in and would be in his chair. And then like the second we wrapped for the day, he'd be the nicest guy, and he was like so sweet and so fun to be around. But when we were shooting, he was so dedicated, and I think it shows up in his work. You know, I hear so many people say how amazing he was, and I felt that working with him as well. But anyway, I didn't know where he was when we were shooting. I mean, we're about to rehearse, and I just go into like kind of like the little hallway that's attached to the Wayne Manor set, and I just see him like standing like this close to the wall, smiling, like that.
Whoa.
Just like,
Chills.
And I was like, okay, yeah, good. This is gonna freak me out properly. Like I don't have to act. I just remember. I think that really stuck with me, and that's one of my favorite moments behind the stage, because behind the scene, behind BTS, whatever. Because it just reminded me how dedicated someone can be to this craft that I do. And I think it was very easy to take it for granted when we were, you know, working pretty much every day for 5 years. And I think it was easy to forget how amazing what we were doing was, and how important what we were doing was, you know, to a lot of people. And seeing how dedicated he was to doing what he was doing. And it just made me like instantly want to be like, okay, I got to turn it on. Like I want to be the very best version that I can be. So I think that was one of my favorite moments.
Really quick, and also anytime Richard Kind was on set, he played the mayor. The most hilarious, wonderful man. Honestly, his name is Kind for a reason. He is an absolute delight, and he has a trillion stories because he's been in a trillion things, and he is ready to share those stories. So that was another highlight too.
Thank you so much. We love the
Thank you.
behind-the-scenes stories, guys. Thank you for that. We have a question here on the left.
If you would like to do another season, what would you like to see your characters do? What would you like to see out of your characters?
Oh man,
Be Batman. Save the city.
For you, yeah, totally.
Not be the hero the city needs, but the hero the city deserves.
Bang, there it is. Boom. For me, I don't know. I mean, I think, obviously, I loved that the series ended with me and the Riddler, and I would, obviously, if we went on, I would love to just go even further with whatever that may be. Like, again, like I just think it's so fun to watch the two of them, and also play the two of them, acting opposite each other. So any more of that would be amazing. Yeah, and also more interaction with the Batman right here. We didn't have that much. And
made that one scene right there.
Exactly. And technically, we're arch enemies, and we never really got to explore that in the show. So that would be another thing that would have to happen.
I never got a proper scene. Like we had like 2 scenes, or at least we talked to each other.
Right.
It was, even if it was for like 15 seconds.
Right.
But I never had a proper scene with Corey Michael Smith, the Riddler, and which is just like such a shame,
Such a lost opportunity.
Such a lost opportunity. So yeah. I want, of course, more scenes with Robin, but also one scene with Corey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We have one final question over here. They've got to get back to the autograph area because we're want to make sure all you guys have a chance to meet these lovely gentlemen.
And if
before we
you
close.
have more questions, come to the table and ask them there. You don't have to buy anything.
Yes.
Just come and ask.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very kind. We have a question here on the right. Hiya.
Hi, I was wondering what would Bruce and Oswald's Getting Ready songs be?
Getting ready.
Like, to fight, you know.
Oh.
Getting ready to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, like a motivation.
I actually, well, my husband made a playlist for me when we first started the show, and the playlist started with Guns of Brixton by The Clash, and that is, for me, the essence song of Oswald, and I would play it every day to get into the mood. So that's my song for sure.
Wow, what a great answer. I don't think I know that song, but
That's so
I gotta
good.
check it out.
The Clash is amazing.
I feel like for Bruce, it would be like Beethoven, you know? I don't know Beethoven well enough to like give you a symphony, but I just feel like that's what Bruce would like listen to. Either that or on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, just because this is my version of Bruce and this is the music I listen to, like 100 Miles and Running by NWA. I just feel like Bruce would get so lit to that. I could just imagine him like working out. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that.
Yeah, fun
Answer.
question. I like that. Thank you so much. Great questions, everybody. I'm just going to give you guys the floor. Any final words for your fans here in Wales?
There you go.
Just thank you so much. And again, like, you know, it's been so amazing, especially after COVID, to be back out here and to be able to talk to people and, you know, just to reconnect. Like, it's really, you know, it's revitalized my spirit, and the energy that you guys bring to us, to me, it really, I carry it with me when I go home, and it makes me feel like we made something really beautiful. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, you know, like Gotham ended a few years ago now, and it was such a big part of my life for such a long time, and it's not something I think about every day anymore. And I kind of forget how much it's affected people's lives and how much it continues to affect people's lives. You know, there's a lot of people that come to the table and they're like, oh, I just found it on Netflix like last year or last week, and I'm just starting to watch it now. And yeah, to me, it feels like something that happened in the past, and I forget that it's still something that happens in the present for a lot of people. So thank you for reminding me of that. That's exactly what Robin said. Like, that's something I take with me, and I feel super, super proud to be a part of something that's like helped a lot of people. Yeah. So.
And we're very proud of them too. Let's show our appreciation by giving a huge round of applause to David Mazouz and Robin Lord Taylor, your cast of Gotham. As they said, they're heading back to the autograph area, so please go by.
Thank you,
and say
Val.
hello.
The
Thank
best.
you, Robin.
The
Thank you,
best.
David. So nice to meet you. Thank you so much.